800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Yep, it's Tuesday. Not Monday, not Wednesday, not Thursday, not Friday. It's Tuesday. Yes, I missed yesterday. Don't ask why. It doesn't matter. I wasn't here. But, I got a lot of things done yesterday. We had a good meeting last night. The board of directors met here at the Spoony Mojo. I don't know what we call this. It's in our Bat Cave. It's the Pat Cave. It's the Pat Cave. That's what it is. This studio is now called the Pat Cave. You know, when I was in high school, I wanted oh my God. I wanted this big, ugly, I don't even know what it was. It was like a car that would fit 4 of anything they make now inside of it. There was so much room between the back seat and the front seat that you could probably fit 10 people on the floorboard.
I think they called those Lincoln Continentals.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, but it's like this big, round, ugly thing. It was, I don't know what it was, but I so wanted this car, and more than anything, I wanted a license plate that said Patmble, Patmobile. That's all that mattered. Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro, thank you for coming back. It's summertime. Sorry, the hour's a little sporadic this year. Well, this month. But we're working on some possible format changes here at Spoony. Not really format changes so much as changing the clock a little bit. So we might take away that break at the bottom of the hour for, well, not everybody. Not me, anyway. Because, I need to get up and, it's a 2-hour show, so I got to use the restroom. Anyway, I was looking today. I haven't looked at the National Day calendar in a few days. And, if you watch the show at all, then I look at that almost every day, and I found out, what is today? Is it National, what was it, the other, Tapioca Pudding Day? Is it National Toffee Day? Blah, blah, blah. Today, there's a couple things going on today. Today, from a food perspective, is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. Now, for most of you, that might not be a big deal, but for me, who I really like vanilla ice cream, especially really good, like French vanilla ice cream, vanilla bean ice cream. I guess that's different, isn't it? French vanilla and vanilla bean. Anyway, it's rumored that Thomas Jefferson brought it over to the United States while visiting France. He wrote down the recipe. True or not, I don't care. I'm just glad it's here. I can give you recipes. I could probably give you 20 recipes, but I'll tell you what. The custard used for ice cream, creme brulee, creme anglaise, which is the cold version of, well, it's basically melted ice cream, right? Or unfrozen ice cream. They're all pretty much the same, right? Egg yolks, cream, sugar, vanilla, and that's pretty much it. That's it. It's very simple. So find your favorite recipe, make it, it's what's for dinner. No, it's what's for dessert. Forget dinner. Have dessert first today because it's Vanilla Ice Cream Day. You know what I really like about vanilla ice cream? It's not that it's vanilla ice cream. It's that it's such a great, rich, flavorful base for whatever you desire to put on top of it. There's a place, Stewart's Ice Cream in town. A friend of mine, Dino Mulligan, his family owned it. It was funny. I just saw a picture of him recently. Haven't seen that kid since I was in 4th grade. Ran across a picture of him. Anyway, his parents owned it. So after our baseball games, we would go down there and we'd order ice cream, whether it was a banana split or just an ice cream sundae or whatever. And his parents would treat, which was awesome. But what I like about vanilla is you have all these other flavors and textures. I love banana splits, but you have to have 3 different sauces. And I'm not big on the strawberry sauce, right? I like chocolate, caramel, and then marshmallow. Then you have the banana, cherries, 3 different flavors of ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, unless you're me, and then it's just vanilla, and vanilla. And then crushed pineapple. That's it. But vanilla is such a great base. It's kind of like the mother sauce of desserts. So the mother sauces, there are a few mother sauces. Matter of fact, here, let's do a culinary lesson of the day. We'll do the random obscure culinary term of the day later. But the mother sauces, if you're not a chef, make sure I get these right, because if I get them wrong, I'll be in trouble. But there are 5 basic sauces, which are, or actually sauces, which are the basis for all of the other sauces you make in French cuisine. Right? So one is there's a bechamel, which is basically a cream sauce. It's milk and it's milk and flour, basically. Believe it or not. But there's one is come on, where are mother sauces in here? Really? Oh, that's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to have to write these people because this is my go-to book all the time, and I can name them for you, but I was hoping they'd be... No. All right. 5 mother sauces. And there's actually one that is a 6th. So you have mayonnaise, right? Hollandaise, Espagnole, velouté, bechamel. All right, let's see. See what I got right so far. Do you know your French mother sauces? Not do you know how to insult your mother in French? No. All right. The 5 French mother sauces. These basically, again, these are the basis for all of French cuisine. Again, French vanilla ice cream is the basis for all ice creams, right? That's it. The mother sauces are the basis for all sauces in French cuisine. And if you know anything about my theory on food, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. The quality of the protein, how you prepare it. The key to a great meal, though, often is the sauce. And a great saucier, the person who's in charge of that, making those sauces in a restaurant, which we don't really have that anymore unless you're in like a Michelin star French Brigade style restaurant. Those are the most, I don't want to say highly rewarded employees in the kitchen, but they're definitely sought after. All right, so the first one is bechamel sauce. All right, so bechamel is basically, it's very simple. It's stock, very simple, stock, milk, and a roux. A roux is just oil, or a fat rather, and by weight, an equal part oil and equal part flour. So I usually use butter and flour. It's very simple, but it's the base for all, like sauce mornay, right? It's a cream sauce that is served over fish typically. It's any cheese sauce. If you make macaroni and cheese from scratch, bechamel is the base. That's it. So it's basically stock, milk, and a roux. So the way you start out is you make the roux, equal parts flour and some sort of fat. I usually use butter. Yeah, and I'll get onto Facebook and say hello to everybody in a minute. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro here. So to make a bechamel sauce, you make your roux, and you want to keep it white, right? You don't want a dark roux. You don't want a medium dark roux. You want a blonde roux, right? You just want it to just take on a tiny bit of color. All you're really doing with this, when you cook this roux, is you're cooking out the starchy taste, right? And then by darkening it, you get a deeper, richer flavor. So the longer you cook it, obviously, the darker and richer it gets. Like if you're going to make a gumbo or some sort of other Creole or Cajun food. And it's also used in some French cooking too, dark roux. All right, so anyway, so you make the roux, and then you actually have to heat the milk or the stock, whichever you're going to add first. You actually add the stock, right? And then you want it. Why do you want it hot? Good question. It's so it doesn't turn out like mom's lumpy gravy or grandmother's or Aunt Jenny's or whoever's it was, right? You don't want it lumpy. So you have to heat the liquid and then slowly drizzle the liquid in. Very, very slowly. But not into the big pot itself, because it's hard to control that. So what you do is you take a little bit of the roux and you put it in a bowl. Yes, out of the pan you're cooking in. And then you take this hot stock and you drizzle it slowly in. And then you add a little bit more. And then as you get the liquid incorporated into that, it takes a lot of liquid usually to. All right, let's step back. If you don't want lumpy gravy, it works the same this way. When you make your gravy in a pan, you put you have your oil left whenever you take whatever you cooked. Pork chops, right? Going to be white gravy. All right. You sprinkle your flour in, you stir it around, you cook it. Now, at that point, you can just add hot liquid. But what happens? That's when it gets lumpy, right? So if you take that all out, put it in a bowl, add your hot liquid to it, stir it around, slowly drizzle it in, right? It takes a lot of liquid to loosen the flour and fat mixture. Then pour that back into the pan, then add the rest of your liquid slowly. It works. Don't ask me why. It's chemistry, right? Too much liquid, not enough time to incorporate it, you end up lumpy. All right, so that's it. Season with salt, tomato, etc., etc. Let's see here. You have sauce espagnole, which sauce espagnole. It's all right. We'll go from bechamel. Bechamel is just a cream sauce, right? It's just basically it's dairy and some sort of thickener. Again, that's your base for a cheese sauce. It's your base for all other white sauces. So the second one is velouté. That's where you basically take the dairy slash flour thickened sauce, and you add this is where you add your specific stock to it, right? So if you want to have something that's a chicken velouté, then you would add chicken stock. If it's turkey or fish or anything else, it would be the flavor of whatever the ingredient that the protein on the plate would be. You'd take those bones, roast them, make your stock, and then that would be incorporated into that sauce. All right. Espagnole. Espagnole is just known as brown sauce, but it's not. It's not just brown sauce. So it's made of brown beef or veal stock, tomato puree, browned mirepoix, which mirepoix is celery, onions, carrots, diced up and then sautéed, of course. And then that's thickened with a really dark brown roux. It sounds really simple, right? The thing is, making veal stock or beef stock, well, never mind. I was going to say demi. It's really, I use demi for espagnole sauce instead of a stock, and demi is demi-glace. Demi-glace is, it's basically espagnole, this Spanish sauce. It's just it takes a long time to cook. You ever made stock? You ever put the bones in the water with the vegetables, simmer it down slowly, right? You don't rolling boil, just a real slow simmer. And then a couple hours later, or the next morning, if you're using veal bones, then you strain it, so on and so forth. Now, all that gets reduced down with other ingredients until it becomes almost like a paste. It's not a paste, but it becomes thick and gelatinous, right? It becomes this dark brown sauce. That takes forever. When we used to make demi-glace in Aspen at one of the restaurants I worked at, it would take 3 days, sometimes 4 days, to make demi-glace. So espagnole, which is basically, it's a brown sauce. If you've ever had demi-glace, it's just imagine that missing a few ingredients. It takes a very, very long time. And by the time you reduce all of that liquid down to concentrate the flavors and then thicken it with a roux, you don't have a lot left. That's why very few chefs make demi-glace from scratch anymore. All right, sauce tomate, which is just tomato sauce. It's not like modern day tomato sauces. It's basically it's typically flavored with pork. So you cook tomatoes down into a thick sauce, but you can also thicken with a roux, and then again it's seasoned with pork and aromatic vegetables. All right, hollandaise. So we got let's go back. We have, nobody really cares about this, but I do. Bechamel, velouté, espagnole, sauce tomate or tomato sauce, hollandaise. Now hollandaise is like either really easy or really hard. It can be the bane of a chef's existence, or it can be his pride and joy, or her pride and joy. It's basically egg yolks, clarified butter, and some acid and a bit of chili, not chili powder, but like cayenne pepper, a dash of Tabasco, something to add a touch of heat. Now, why is it so difficult to make the sauce, or why is it always such a pain for chefs? To make it the traditional way over a double boiler takes forever, and your arm wants to fall off when you're done. It's really no fun. It's like I didn't know how to use a blender to make this sauce, and so the first few times I had to make it in a restaurant, we needed like a quart. A quart doesn't sound, I mean, it doesn't sound like very much, but you were using eggs and clarified butter, just egg yolks and clarified butter to make a quart by, slowly incorporating this into the clarified butter into the egg yolks after they've been whipped. It's a lot of work. Literally, my arm, I mean, I could barely move my arm later. So the reason that you need clarified butter is it cooks the egg yolk, but it cooks it in a manner that the egg shouldn't get, they don't turn into scrambled eggs, right? So the easiest way to make hollandaise sauce is to put your egg yolks in a blender and then make your clarified butter, or you can go to the local grocery store and buy what's called ghee. That's Ghee. It's basically Indian clarified butter that's used for everyday cooking in Indian food. Yeah, I know, surprising, isn't it? Ghee, which comes from India, that term would be used in Indian food for cooking. Anyway, so you can melt that down and use it the same. If you need to make clarified butter, then you take your butter, unwrap it, put it in a heavy gauge like saucepan, and then turn the heat on medium low. And what you want to do is you want to melt the butter, and then you don't really want it to boil. You want it to heat enough to separate the milk solids from the fat, the butter fat, and so they rise to the surface, and you get this white foamy stuff on top. And as that rises to the top, every minute or two, you want to skim that off the surface, and when you're done, you'll have this kind of opaque. It's a clear, but almost colorless, slightly yellow oil, and that's your butter fat. That's just the fat. The milk solids have been boiled off, and then you have just the butter fat, which is the clarified butter. Now, that you need it really hot when you get ready to make this, because if you don't, then it doesn't cook the eggs, and that's how people get sick, right? So to make it at home, put your say 4 or 6 egg yolks in a blender. You take your hot clarified butter. You get ready to turn your blender on. You remove that little centerpiece off the lid, and you slowly, very slowly drizzle in. I use a ladle. Don't use the pan to pour it in, because if you get too much, then you cook the eggs. I use a ladle. I drizzle that into the top of the lid, and just before I start to ladle that in, then I start the blender. It has to be moving. The blender has to be on. Otherwise, you cook the egg yolks. So while it's running, then you slowly drizzle it in, and you have to go slowly. And then you'll know when it's the thickness, the fluffiness that you're supposed to get. It's kind of pale yellow. It's a lot lighter color than the actual egg yolks were. Then you'll know it's ready. And then what you do with that is you can add a little bit of lemon juice, and then if you can add tarragon if you want to make a different sauce. You can add a touch of cayenne, Tabasco, whatever suits your fancy. But that's the basic recipe for hollandaise sauce. And if you don't like Eggs Benedict, then well, shame on you. No, really, it's a great breakfast. I mean, who doesn't like an English muffin, some sort of meat, a poached egg, and hollandaise sauce? Are you kidding me? Oh man, there's so many different ways. I'm gonna go on Facebook right now. If you make Eggs Benedict at home, tell me how you make it, because there are so many different ways to make it. I really like to use smoked salmon lox and steam it just a little bit so that you can cut through it really easily. And then so you have the English muffin, the smoked salmon, and then the poached egg, and then the hollandaise sauce. Oh, that's one of my favorites. All right. If you've ever made it at home, let us know. Right here at Spoony. Let's see. Richard Brent, I prefer Eastern Grey Roux. Oh, Tech Roux. Seems to be dead air on Spreaker and iHeartRadio. It was there at the beginning. Other channels work. I don't know. I'll have to check that. Did the iHeart stream disappear just now, or did my phone mess up? Ahoy. Hello, Richard. All right, let me go in and see if there's any other comments. All right. So apparently, if you're listening on iHeart, well, you're not listening on iHeart, so you probably can't hear us. Let's see. Looks like Richard's the only one commenting today. Everybody else thinks I'm on vacation for the rest of the summer. Looks like Pat's in today. Pat Gamir, how you doing? Let's see. All right. Anyway, if you make, I love to make eggs Benedict, and again, I told you my favorite is with smoked salmon, but there's a place called. All right, I've told you 100 times. Fred's Hickory Inn in Bentonville, Arkansas. When I worked there, we did this Sunday brunch version of eggs Benedict, which you could choose your whatever protein you wanted on it, but we only had a few choices. Obviously, the Canadian bacon, ham, and then they did this smoked sirloin, and the smoked sirloin was phenomenal. So we would shave it really thin, kind of like it's kind of like shaved roast beef. You know, I'd hate to say like Arby's because it was 100 times better. But something like that, really thinly shaved. And we used to smoke that for 12 hours. It was this big 16-pound, it was a top butt, right? Yes, top butt. Funny, that's not even the butt, though. Anyway, so we'd take this big roast, and we did about 300 pounds at a time, and roast them for 12 hours in the smoker, bring them in, and then it was so good. That subtle smokiness, the poached egg on top, the hollandaise sauce, that was probably my favorite version that I've ever served. It's not my favorite to eat, but I think that was the fan favorite probably from the diners. Let's see. Okay, audio service is back. Thanks, Richard, for letting us know. Pat Gamir joined in under Doug, just in time for hollandaise. Yum. Pat, I did listen to a few more shows. It sounds good. It sounds really good. I'm going to catch up on another episode tonight, so thanks for keeping me apprised. Holly Ann says, hello, chef. I was on the Food Biz Pro page. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, wherever you are. I should be able to see everyone's comments no matter where you are, but I don't know how that works. I'm not tech averse. I'm tech challenged. I would like to know how. How can I not figure out how Facebook works? Honestly, I'm gonna have to try and invite people to watch this second half. Oh wait, I got a surprise coming for you. Second half of the show, I'm gonna take a little hiatus. I'm gonna work in the booth, and Chef Brandon Anderson from Rack Attack Barbecue. He's gonna be doing the whole second half of the show on his own. So we're gonna welcome him. As a matter of fact, he's gonna have a weekly show from now on. I gave him the second half of my show today because I wasn't sure what time slot I was going to be able to slide him into on a Tuesday. So after the show today, we'll have a quick chat and figure out where he best fits in the time slots. And he's off and running. I'm telling you what, he's already got show sponsors and a million things to talk about. And I don't know, 15 lessons in his curriculum ready to go. So y'all can, walk out of listening to his show like a pitmaster. It's amazing. Anyway, he'll be in. I'm hoping he brings food because I'm really hungry, and I'm always disappointed when somebody is a guest on the show that doesn't bring food. But, that happens more often than not. Let's see. Anything else in there? Nope, not really. Anyway, yeah, hollandaise. Hollandaise and two favorite. Let's see. I said I really love vanilla ice cream. I don't think it's my favorite. I think pralines and cream is my favorite. You used to be able to go into Baskin Robbins. I'm going to save the story for when we come back in the second half of the hour. I'm going to remember this. Baskin Robbins. All right. So here's a story from my teen years in Arizona and before, but there's something, I don't even know if you can do this anymore, but if you have a Baskin Robbins near you and you by chance happen to go by there, ask them if you can get this. So I'll tell you on the other side of the break. Anyway, yeah, vanilla is not my favorite. It's definitely butter pecan. Man, there's just something about that kind of caramel, buttery caramel in there with the candy pecans. Oh, man. Now I'm really hungry. Brandon better hurry up and get here. Brandon, hurry up! I want some food! Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. We will be right back with the Super Salad Course, Course 2, in about 2 minutes. So stay tuned.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT,
Wow.
M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Way to go here. Yeah, I may have had a hot mic there for a few minutes. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over the commercial there. I'll go back and do a live read. What was that last commercial they were on? Doesn't matter. I know. I didn't listen either. Oh, well, it's all good.
Never Forgotten Apparel.
Yeah, Never Forgotten Apparel. Neverforgottenapparel.com. Neverforgottenapparel.com. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. See, I take one day off, and I forget how to press how to. Yeah, exactly. No, you're not on yet. See, yeah, it's still my show for about 27 minutes. Oh man.
Filling space.
So what's up, man?
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
You too.
Cool. Bring anything good to eat today? I'm messing with
Do
you.
what?
Did you bring anything good to eat?
Oh, I didn't know what you said. Yeah, I did. Pulled pork. Pulled pork
Oh,
sandwiches.
it's been a long couple of days. Pulled pork sandwiches. Damn. Sounds good.
I don't think I brought pulled pork yet.
Uh-uh.
So I had it in the fridge.
All right. I know. There it is. There it is. Lean back, pull
Let me
back
eat
with
the
you.
microphone.
I know. It's kind of. I was just talking about ice cream and all sorts of stuff, hollandaise and this, that, and the other. But do you have any memories? There was ice cream brought back a memory from my childhood. I was in Arizona at the time. I was like, I guess 12 when we moved there, and there was a Baskin Robbins 31 flavors right up the road, and it was right next to a Bash's grocery store. So, not that matters, but Bash's he was one of my bigger men. The man who ran that entire chain of grocery stores was a mentor of mine.
Okay.
So anyway, we'd go up there at night. My mother would say, you know what? Go up and buy a gallon of pralines and cream. But not just a gallon. She would ask for a cut gallon of pralines and cream, ice cream. Do you know what a cut gallon is?
I don't.
It's okay if you don't. So, the old, the big ice cream tubs, they weren't 5 gallons. They're like, what, 3 gallons, somewhere in that range. What they would do is they would take this cable with a little handle on each end, and they would cut off 1 gallon, the bottom gallon of the container, so that it wasn't a pack. You could get a packed gallon or a cut gallon. So the cut gallon came just as it did from the factory. It had not been scooped out and repacked into the container. And my mother was of the belief that it was just better. It was just as it came from the factory. Don't mess with it. Buy it, get it, take it home, and it's done.
Okay.
But anyway, cut gallon of ice cream.
So did it have a bottom or didn't?
Yeah, so
it had a top?
they would take the lid and they would put it on the bottom of it. And then because they never cover the lids once they open them.
Got it.
So they would put on, it was already on the bottom anyway. So they would lift it up, put it on, but then it was just after they cut the bottom, they just put the lid back on the bottom and it would be done.
Interesting.
It was very cool. I don't think anybody out there, any Spoony listeners out there, ever heard of a cut gallon of ice cream? I'm sure somebody has.
Probably Richard.
I've never heard of that since. I really haven't. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let's see. Vanilla bean kicks out at a plain vanilla. Yep. All right. Well, anyway, nobody's commenting. Whatever. Fine. Don't listen to me. I know y'all just here to listen to Brandon. It doesn't matter because he brought food. It's the only reason I'm here today too. I could have taken another day off, but instead I could have had a V8 or a pulled pork sandwich.
Could have.
At least you didn't do pull a Jeffy with your mic. Thank you. You're right. Thanks, Dustin. Some dangerous things can happen when this mic is open. Yeah, that was the very first thing. Doc is always like, he was always like, hey, close your mic. I'm like, okay. It's not like I'm going to say too many bad things about my fellow partners or show hosts.
Or flatulate.
Well, I am getting up there in years. Sometimes you just, yeah.
You just got to let it go.
No. I leave the room.
I'm
just joking. I am too.
So you'll stay in the room?
No, I just wait till after the show.
Okay.
As far as anybody knows. Dude, did we already go there? You've been on the show like 4 minutes. Almost exactly 4 minutes.
That's what I do, man. That's why I'm having my own show.
I was telling somebody the other day that I'm sorry, but fart and poop jokes never get old to guys.
Yeah, no.
I don't care if you're 12, 50, 90, 120. It just does. I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry. To all the adults in the world. It doesn't get old for men.
No.
So we don't ever outgrow it.
It's life.
Yeah, I'm sorry. we can tell you almost took today off, rocking the shorts with a chef coat. I know, right? You know what? It's kind of cool in here, but it's not cool enough. If it were 10 degrees cooler.
Oh, gosh.
Are you cold?
No.
No, me either.
I run hot anyways.
Well, and that's the thing is, I don't mind the heat. I mean, I don't. It's not like I think about, oh my God, I'm dying. It's hot. Because I'm, working in a kitchen for how many years, day and night, day and night for years, it never really affected me. But if I have the choice,
right,
I'd much rather be in a cooler climate, a cooler environment. I mean, I want it cold. When I walk in the door at night, I want it cold. It doesn't usually happen.
Sleep better when it's cold too.
Well, yeah, because you bundle up. Do you open the windows when it's cold outside?
No.
Nope. Why not?
Because I still like the air conditioner.
You ever had a swamp cooler when you were a kid?
Is that the... Explain that.
Well, it's an air conditioner, but what happened is it was basically a humidifying air conditioner, right? So in Arizona, we had... I came from upstate New York and New York City, and we went to Arizona. We didn't really have AC in New York. What you had is like a reverse fan, basically. So instead of pump, it was your heat pump.
Okay.
So in the wintertime, the furnace would fire up and you'd pump air out through the vents, right? Well, in the wintertime, in the summertime, you basically reverse the flow. So you open up the windows and you reverse the flow and it sucked air out or into the house, right? Through the windows. So that was okay. It was really humid in upstate New York, but at least you had moving air.
Right.
Now, go to Arizona. And people either had regular AC or they had swamp coolers. And swamp coolers are basically an AC unit that sits on top of the house, and it has these pads. They're kind of made of, I don't even know what they're made of, but they're kind of like, they look like a big loofah, right? Loofah sponge, the natural sponges. So they're about 2 inches thick. They're 2 by 2 or 3 by 2, 2.5 by 2.5. They're 2 or 3 pads, and then one side's the motor side. And it draws air through that as water trickles over it, so it cools the air through the by drawing it through that pad that has water trapped in it.
So it's like a SpongeBob AC unit.
Yeah, well, it's like basically, it's yeah. Anyway, it was cool, right? I mean, it made the air cooler, but also made the house humid. So now it's 120 degrees outside, and it's only 94 degrees in the house, but it's 80% humidity. So it worked well at night. In the daytime, not so well. And they break down all the time.
So it really sounds like a portico hooked up to the house, not a SpongeBob.
Hey, whatever, man. SpongeBob, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Is it only Tuesday? It feels like a Monday Tuesday. All over again. Like, I didn't have a Monday yesterday. Played hooky. Not really, but everybody would think Chef Patrick's sport. Look, I got the shorts on. I went at work yesterday.
Got the Converse on.
No, actually, they're not. Well, close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Just call them it.
All right. So, hey, your show is going to start today. Today. Are you going to do the giveaway today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you giving away?
Suckle Busters t-shirt and a patch.
Suckle what? Patch. Busters?
Suckle Busters.
Suckle Busters. You ever get accused of speaking too fast, young man? I do.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
As the youngest of 5 children from New York, if I didn't eat fast, talk fast, or move fast, I didn't get anything, and I was first to get a whooping. Didn't get to eat, and you're the first one caught. So, I tend to. My mouth gets ahead of my thoughts.
I'm learning to slow down.
Well, look,
before you speak.
I'm excited, man. I love talking about food. I love sharing my passion. The whole reason for Spoony was to inspire people to try and cook something different that they've never done before. I hate freaking glass. Can I just tell you? Well, they have this broken thing there, and it pokes me, and that thing twists and turns. And all right, time to order my new glasses today. Anyway, that was the whole idea. To inspire people to try something new, cook something new, feed their family something different, travel just for the sake of having a meal.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't care if it was something, what a Fluffernutter sandwich is, right?
No. Don't know.
I wonder when National Fluffernutter Day is. But anyway, whether it's as simple as trying a Fluffernutter sandwich or, trying to cook coq au vin, nothing like a little chicken and red wine. A Fluffernutter sandwich is peanut butter and marshmallow fluff as a sandwich. It doesn't suck. You like marshmallow?
Yeah.
You like peanut butter?
It sounds like a s'more just without the graham cracker. And
Exactly.
and the graham crackers a bread.
And then it's even better if you toast it.
Oh. Okay.
And then it's even better if you put just a little smear of the of like Nutella underneath the peanut butter. Oh yeah, it's crazy. There you go. Now you can spoil your kids with dessert for dinner sometime.
Yep.
Mama, I don't know what I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't feed them anything.
No sugar.
No, whatever. I gotta go now. I got an event.
Yeah. Bye.
So your show. What's the official name of the show?
The Texas Barbecue Show.
Texas Barbecue Show. The official launch date will be next Tuesday, in theory. It'll be next Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, we're going to talk about Texas barbecue.
Texas barbecue, and at first I had it as craft barbecue, but that kind of limits me to everything just craft, where I want everything to be Texas barbecue. And I'll throw in, obviously, some Carolina stuff, Memphis, because I'm trying to go in. This is an international radio plug.
Absolutely.
It's on iHeartRadio.
We are
Everyone
worldwide, folks.
Japanese hears it. Australians hear it. I'm going to make it intuitive. I think that's the word. I should have looked that up in the dictionary before I said it, but I think that's right. And very just interactive. I want to touch everyone's palate.
I was curious where you're going there, Mr. Rack Attack.
Oh, man. Yeah, I just want to make it on my logo, the TX Barbecue Show, everything barbecue.
That's awesome.
So just anything that has to do with, smoking wood chips, pellets, just everything barbecue.
What's the coolest thing you've ever seen smoked? That you did something you've seen that was like, holy crap, what were they thinking? That's cool.
Alligator.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And that was Rectech Grills, their Facebook page. Mm-hmm. They're obviously over in Augusta, Georgia, so they're a little bit closer to.
They just gut it, skin it, and smoke the whole in chunks.
I know they skinned it. I'm not sure about the gutting part, but it was literally the whole alligator. Looked like a whole alligator just skinned, and they threw it on one of the Rectechs. Which, if I could get an alligator here, I'll do that myself as well. Someone who has a connection with alligator, let me know.
Hey, you know what? We should try to smoke Nutria. You know Nutria?
I'm
It's like
saying
a big old,
yes.
It's like a big old rat. You see them on the side of the road here sometimes. If you get on the anywhere from like Houston south or southeast along the Gulf, it looks like a big giant swamp rat, right?
Okay.
It's basically that's. Anyway,
Joe Wilson probably has done that.
I bet he has. About 20 years ago, Nutria was going to be the protein of the future, right? Because they breed like rabbits, but they're big and there's a lot of they've got a lot of dense protein on them.
Okay.
So they were trying to get people to buy into these Nutria farms, ranches, just like people were buying into ostrich farms and emu farms and stuff like that. And it didn't really work out that way. It's a little gamey. But I'm thinking, you brine that thing a little while. Maybe you could do them like you do possum. You could corn feed them before you cook them. You never had possum before?
No. I'm not
Come on,
against
man.
anything. I've never picked one up off the road and said, "Hey, let me rinse it off with some cold water, bleed it out, and smoke
Never
it."
pick one up off the road. In most states, roadkill, you're not allowed to pick up roadkill.
No,
right?
not in Texas for sure.
Not in Colorado either. I did pick up a deer one time. I won't talk about that story. But yeah, you're not allowed to because they just don't want people to get sick. But no, so okay, we're gonna talk about like the weirdest meat you've ever had as a dining experience, right? So I've had mountain lion, bear, beaver. I've had nutria, and I'm guessing opossum is probably the.
Where'd you eat the mountain lion? Is that
Colorado.
legal?
Yeah, under certain circumstances.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I didn't shoot it, so.
What does that taste like? What could you compare it to?
Not like chicken.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It's funny because they're lean. It's very lean, of course.
Yeah.
But there's this weird fat layer just between the skin and the muscle tissue. It wasn't tough. I mean, the flavor wasn't anything that really stood out as something unique. It was like a mix between. Have you ever had horse? Y'all don't fire me. I was in China or Japan. I mean, and I was in Japan, and I had horse jerky, and I may have had a bite of horse steak. I didn't know. No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was.
That was not in Texas.
I couldn't read it.
Disclaimer, whatever.
No,
disclosure. That's not in Texas.
But it has a very similar texture to that, and it's a little gamey. But bear was really fat. It's like oily. Beaver was the same way. It's really kind of greasy.
Like duck. Duck is oily, ain't it? I've never had duck personally. Okay. I just know of it.
Next week when you come in, I'll grab some duck breasts from the store and we'll grill them up. And
I got that duck fat.
Okay.
I just came in yesterday.
Nice.
Over 2 weeks. But that's okay.
That's okay. How much they send you?
10 pounds. A lot. It'll last me the rest of the year.
Just plain old duck lard, basically.
Yeah, yep, exactly. On a bag.
Sweet baby Jesus.
It's like runny. It's not necessarily a like butter consistency where you could spread it. It's literally just so just liquid fat.
Making me hungry. So certain you know why margarine's bad for you, right? In theory. Of course, everything's bad for you one day and it's not the next.
Right.
It's next. So typically animal fat stays congealed at room temperature, right? It stays solid.
Right.
Coconut oil does as well, certain other fats. And then some other ones don't congeal even when you put them in the refrigerator, like grapeseed oil and some others. But it's the hydrogenation. So it's either high density or low density, right? So the reason that they make margarine is they take a standard oil and they just bombard it with hydrogen.
Okay.
And that basically makes it solid. The thing is, when it goes in your body, that hydrogen molecule is really loose and it lets go, and that's what causes, bad stuff, the LDL cholesterol.
Okay.
In theory, right? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. We'll ask Dr. Brown on the Gut Check Project on Thursday.
I was about to say that.
But yeah, typically animal fat is solid at room temperature. So it's interesting that
this one's not. Yeah.
Duck fat isn't, because even if you've rendered it, if it were in this room, it should congeal. But
because even the duck fat spray, the can, so they have it a bag of duck fat just like it is in this big 10 pound, and a smaller one surrounded by compressed air, and it doesn't solidify obviously because it's got to spray out. So I'm not sure what there is with duck fat. Maybe when I have Dennis on the podcast sometime when he calls
That'd be
in, because
awesome.
he's not coming in from Nebraska. But I'll have him call in and we can talk about that later.
No, I'd really like to know because, yeah, I mean, what other ones? I'm trying to think what else. I can't think of any other animal fat that's liquid at room temperature. I mean, once you render it, I suppose chicken fat, schmaltz. I mean, once you render that down, it kind of stays liquid. But like bacon grease, right? That congeals.
Yeah.
Beef does the same thing. Pork does the same thing. Yeah, I can't think of anything. Huh.
He'll know the answer.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yep.
All right. Well, Richard, I'm sure you have an answer, so just put it out there. Let's look and see if I'm sure he's got an answer already. There he is. Oh no, that's Dustin. Beaver are good. Darker red meat, not much fat. Usually make jerky from it. Yeah, it's okay. Cougar, blah 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 blah. All right, smartass comments. Our gas grill died. Anyone want to give us their old one when you upgrade? No, sorry.
What?
If I had one to give you, I would.
Gas grill.
That's Pat Gamir. I can't help but hear a bell when you say smoking wood. Oh, you know what? By the way, I had a couple things in here that they disappeared, but some of the people that were longtime listeners of Doc's, they actually sent a few gifts in. Of course, Richard Brandt sent in $50 billion. Well, not really. I mean, he did. They were legit. They just were not U.S. dollars, unfortunately. They were from the Bank of Zimbabwe from 2008, which meant they were worth about 4 cents. But one of Doc's listeners, Sarah, I think her Twitter handle, it used to be Sarah Tired of New York, I think. She sent a few things. There's a burlap sack around here somewhere. I don't know where it went. And but everybody's saying you need a bell, because anytime there's like some sort of innuendo or double entendre, they ring a bell over the Doc always ring a bell. Well, we can't have the same bell. So what she sent is like the servant bell. It's like, James. Dude, I used to work for a guy who had one of these things. I wanted to shove it up his
gosh, yeah.
big toe. I'll tell you what, man. There's nothing like working a Saturday afternoon when there's a baseball game 2 miles away downtown Houston. And Patrick, I need water. He wasn't quite that bad, actually. Actually, you know what? Private chef job, it's pretty kick-ass. There's no food cost. You can cook anything you want. I could order food from around the world. I could call Broken Arrow Ranch and say, I want that deer, shoot that one right there. I want that one. And they'd shoot it, process it, and send it to me.
They're down South San Antonio, right? They do the quail. I know
they do quail, and then they do fallow deer, the red Japanese. It's the red deer.
Yeah,
New Zealand. That was the coolest thing. It was kind of a. We're just bullshitting right now because you're gonna do your show, and I just want to say hi. And, it's Tuesday. Who listens on a Tuesday, right? So,
no, we're gonna make people listen on a Tuesday.
Actually, you'd be surprised. We have good listenership on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, surprisingly. And did you know the best time to post a post on Facebook is like 1 o'clock on a Wednesday,
or 3 to 6?
I think everybody's just bored out of their mind at their work. By the time hump day rolls around, and lunch is done, they're
After
like,
they eat lunch, yep.
I'm in a food coma, and I don't want to work no more. I'm going to look at my Facebook page, and it's like, why do I do that really terrible Southern accent? It's awful. I should do like a French Canadian accent, or I do an Indian accent, but I'd be run off the air probably. The Canadians, they're not going to do anything. They're my relatives, man. It's cool. That's cool. What up, man? Hey.
Hey. That's awesome.
What up, eh? I don't even know what I was talking about. Where was I going? Doesn't matter.
It don't matter. No.
No. So, So, all right. Back to food. Back to food for once. Patrick's down track. What's the craziest thing you've ever tried, like food-wise?
Well, it ain't going to be alligator because everyone can eat alligator at Razoo's.
But not smoked alligator. Smoked alligator is pretty cool.
Was it cow balls? Is there such thing as cow balls? Is that right? Fried or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be it.
Okay.
The thing that's not normally on a menu.
Calf fries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very flavorful.
They weren't bad.
No, I've had Rocky Mountain oysters, calf fries. That's just cheap.
Ooh.
It's okay. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would order it on a daily basis if I went out to dinner. But yeah, not bad.
I wouldn't order barbecue on a daily basis.
Me either. I love barbecue. Well, I know that's like everybody's like, you want to go for sushi? I'm like, no, no. Well, and I don't like going out and paying like $70 for a meal when I could make. Not always. There are a lot of great sushi restaurants, you know, in Dallas Fort Worth area and well everywhere you go now.
It's better to make and serve a $70 meal.
Well, you know, it's just it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's real expensive. Fish gets pricey.
High quality too.
Man, and
that's why it's expensive.
That's why it's sashimi grade. Whatever. You know, hey, let's talk about that. Let's talk about grading, because fish and beef are graded very similarly. And people are like, "Oh, that doesn't look like prime. That doesn't look like whatever." Well, you know what? It's based on whatever's harvested for that day. So, you know, your prime today could be a little different than prime tomorrow, or if you have kind of a downturn, something happens, you lose a lot of livestock on the top end, then your prime in a month might not be anything like prime you've seen in the past. I mean, there has to be a certain amount of marbling and stuff like that.
And it's not the same guy grading it every single carcass.
It's not even the same location, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on where the beef comes from. But fish is the same way. So Tsukiji Market, you ever seen the fish market in Japan? Tsukiji is like that giant. It's I think it's 10 acres under roof.
Dang.
And it's
that's massive.
I'll look it up real quick. We're talking about it's like 70% of the world's tuna goes through that one market every day. It's TSUKIJA market, and I think they just moved it because the Summer Olympics are coming out next year. They moved it like 5 miles south of there, so because there's a big freeway that's going right over it, right through downtown Tokyo. And here you go. Tsukiji Market. Give you an idea here. There you go. It's cool.
And that's only like not even an eighth of an acre.
Oh, I mean, it's gigantic. It's huge.
Look how big that tuna is.
I know
that's tuna, right?
Yes, sir.
See, I did good.
Do they? I mean, the big eye tuna gets as big as like 1,000 pounds. A bluefin.
That's big as a damn cow. Sorry.
No.
Darn cow.
No, it's okay. Look, all right, 3 rules.
Yeah,
3 rules.
That wasn't part of it, right?
No, you're fine. Look, I went to the Kentucky Derby with Doc and Brad and Brad's partner Beth and his old crew from the other place. We drove up there. We get there, and we went to this place called Boundary Oaks Distillery. And it was called Boundary Oak because there was this giant oak tree which it marked the border. It was the boundary of Lincoln's estate, and so they called it the Boundary Oak. And it had been cut down, and they had one of the last remaining slabs. It was just this big vertical slab out of the tree. Mm-hmm. It was very cool. They called it Boundary Oak Distillery. So I don't know who their PR or whatever their public
relations person.
Yeah, whatever she was. Anyway, so she gets on the dock with there, and it went 4 seconds in, and it's like F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. First sentence. I was like, whew, I'm glad it wasn't me that did that. I mean, it literally took 4 seconds. I've never done it. I'm sure it'll happen, folks. Get your record. You don't have to record it. You guys can go to Facebook. It lives forever.
Yes.
No, you don't have to just go to Facebook. You can go to Spreaker. You can go to iTunes. You can go to YouTube. Man, I need to start going out there and making sure I scrub this stuff. I got to delete the bad shows.
Depends.
Archive them.
Archive them.
Oh, or backdate them. No, this was it was last year. That was the year before last. I don't know. So, what do you talk about today?
For the show?
Uh-huh.
For my show?
No, just in general. Like, when you leave. No, I'm joking.
What?
What are you going to talk about on the show today?
So I'm going to do an intro about myself, Rack Attack Barbecue, and then the barbecue show. Basically, so, see, I need to save this stuff for later, right?
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to fill a minute and a half time. Hey, man, it's
already 2 o'clock.
I know it.
Oh.
I know. So you need any help getting set up or anything?
No, just
okay, cool. Switch seats and take command. I'll go in the booth. I'm just gonna mute my mic and stay off the air. Okay. Actually, I'll be sitting in there. If anything goes wrong, or
is Ron listening?
I'm sure he is.
Hey, why y'all dressed up?
Oh,
you
I'll let him answer.
Talk.
It's a T-shirt with a jacket over it.
It's because it's cold in that room.
It is cold in there.
Okay.
That room gets colder than this one.
Dang.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I wish that this room would get that cold, but it doesn't. We have to keep that room cold because of all the computers and stuff. But
Gotcha.
man, I'm excited.
Me too.
Are you nervous?
No.
Good. You shouldn't be. I mean, it's is that just water?
Brandon, I forgot to tell you, it's because of your inaugural turn at the mic I dressed up today.
There you go. One day we'll have to dress up for a reason.
I wore shorts for you.
This is Jameson and Red Bull. Blueberry Red Bull.
Mine is water and ice.
Water
And frozen water.
I had too much water this morning.
All right, hey, folks. Brandon Anderson, Rack Attack Barbecue. He's going to be on the inaugural Texas Barbecue. What is it?
Texas Barbecue Show.
Texas Barbecue Show. I just want to make sure. I thought I had it right.
At 2:04. We can give
you
me
got
2:04.
4 minutes from the 4 minutes 6 seconds right now. Go, run. I'm just joking. Hey, folks, come right back. Stay tuned, please. Pay some homage to Brandon. He's a good kid. Young man. We'll be right back. Bye.
This is the only 24-hour Take Anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news at townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Senate has overwhelmingly approved Mark Esper to become the next Secretary of Defense.
Esper, an Army veteran, won Senate confirmation by a vote of 90-8. The Senate's vote ends the longest period the Pentagon has gone without a confirmed leader in its history, 7 months. Esper, who has a wide range of experience in defense matters, says he intends to continue the Trump administration's focus on improving the combat preparedness of the military, nurturing security alliances around the world, and reforming Pentagon business practices.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting, European Union leaders say they'll work with new Prime Minister Boris Johnson constructively, but they're also sticking by their stance on Brexit.
The EU is saying to Mr. Johnson, there is room for some renegotiation, but not on the fundamental withdrawal agreement that's already been done between the UK and the EU. They will try to help him with that future relationship, the guidelines on the future. That isn't what Mr. Johnson has been promising in his campaign so far. So the EU, I think, will look at, does he come constructively to seek a solution, or does he press this idea of the UK prepared to walk away, walk out with no deal? And I think that approach will do a lot to determine how the EU responds.
BBC correspondent Damian Grammaticus reporting from Brussels. Also at townhall.com, Special Counsel Robert Mueller will testify on Capitol Hill for at least 5 hours on Wednesday. It will be a nationally televised event. The Justice Department has told Mueller that his testimony should not go beyond information that has already been released publicly. President Trump with some high praise for a group of young people attending a summit sponsored by Turning Point USA, a conservative nonprofit organization, this morning. The organization holding its Teen Student Action Summit 2019 in the nation's capital. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony. Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
And we're live. So this is the Texas Barbecue Show. Chef Pitmaster Brandon Anderson taking over for the last hour of Food Biz Pro today.
You look good in there, man. Hey, you look, Patrick, you look a lot younger.
I do, thank you.
And better looking.
Just drinking water.
Welcome, Brandon.
How are y'all? So, where do I don't even know. I've got so many things going on. Let me get this live feed going. You want to talk for me
you know
real
what?
quick?
Hey, it's pretty normal. You know what I have is like, you see me start the show.
Yeah.
I just randomly start with, Happy New Year. I don't know. I just make something up because I'm never caught up. I don't even share it to my Facebook page anymore. I don't. Well, I'll share this one though because you're on.
All right, let me do this.
So you had an event. You were pulling some ribs racks off the smoker last week, like 12 racks or something.
Was it
Thursday,
last week
Friday,
or-
Saturday?
I did 5 racks of ribs, and then I was doing an event for Metroflex gym in Fort Worth just recently, and it was just 5 racks of ribs on this one, and I think 3 briskets, 3 pork butts. It was something small.
Well, all I know is you brought some tasty pulled pork today, man.
Well, yeah, you need to eat it. Tell me how it is.
That's good stuff. I can tell you it is right now. It's good.
Okay, here I'm starting a watch party.
All right.
Do,
I'm gonna do the same, okay?
Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Hey, nothing like live radio. 3, 2, 1. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Anderson with the Texas Barbecue Show. That really wasn't a good intro, but I'm still trying to fill airtime for you.
Right. All right. So, I'm going to just let my people jump on the watch party.
Absolutely.
That way everything
Address
can be
them.
referred to them and Spoony and
You're good.
Food Biz Pro too, because
You do
obviously
what
we're not
you do what you got to do, man.
jumping straight on to.
I'll be glad to keep my mouth shut and eat. I'm hungry.
So I got 8 people watching. That's good for.
Nice. I'm going to pull some people into here in a second. I'll do a watch party real quick. Okay? I'll do it on Spoony and mine. What do you mean pull your people in? Look at that. You got a big old mouth. Okay, can I just tell you? They can't hear you chewing, but they can see you chew. Man, it's good stuff, isn't it? That's got just a
I
little
don't
bit.
say that much about my own food, but that's good.
That's got just a little bit of heat to it. Just a touch. That's really good. And I like the fact you didn't put any sauce on there, by the way. Thank you.
I actually.
I mean,
I
it's in
toss
there.
it
I
in
know there's a
sauce,
little
yeah,
bit,
but I don't.
but not smothered in,
That's got some good smoke flavor, don't it?
Heck yeah. That's really good.
I see what all the people were talking about when they bought it from me the other day.
It's a good
Because I
mix
had
of
some left over from the event.
Uh-huh.
I had brisket, some pulled pork left over, and I made a post on Facebook, and it was gone by 7 o'clock that evening.
Pulled pork's one of those things you can just, if you just vacuum seal it or just wrap it up tight in a Ziploc baggie and freeze it for, a long time. And it comes out okay.
Yeah, it'll last for forever.
A while.
Well, not forever, but it could last a year.
A year.
Wrap it in full, vacuum seal it, throw it in the freezer. You're good to go. But
It's good stuff. Really
it's
good.
not going to last that long anyways, unless if you know what it is, you're going to
If
eat
it
it.
lasts that long, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Let me
Wow.
pull up my notes. Let's see. That way I have a criteria. That way I don't have any dead air.
Hey, dude, I just wing it, man. Yeah, and that's why you're here. We need a professional.
I just cook barbecue. And I like to be an outgoing person, so maybe I'm a professional at a show.
There is no
we're gonna
just.
see.
It doesn't matter what you do. There's no just. All right.
Okay, Rack Attack Barbecue listeners that are watching the watch party. I know I got 6 of y'all on here from now. Some will be later. And I'll do another watch party later this evening. But today is going to be the first hour of my Texas Barbecue Show, taking over the last half of the Food Biz Pro. I believe next week we will have a full-on TX Barbecue Show going live on my page with, my beautiful face up top with my logo, just like you see Chef Patrick Mosher's face on there. So my topics, I got one topic of the day, and then I also have notes to, continue on through this hour. So intro about myself for those that don't know. The past month I've gained 500 new likes and follows on Rack Attack Barbecue page due to some awesome friends of mine that were able to spread the gospel of barbecue and what I do with it. So to those that don't know who I am, I'm Brandon Anderson, the pitmaster and owner of Rack Attack Barbecue and the, I guess it would be creator of the Texas Barbecue Show, which I want to give educational information to everyone that loves backyard grilling, barbecuing. Basically a audible cookbook, in a sense, versus, just flipping through pages. This is going to be audible. And hopefully after long, we can do some live cooking on the show as well, and show tips and tricks and, all that good stuff, not just geared towards restaurant owners or business owners, but just to the normal Joe. So Brandon Anderson, I, have 2 kids, 3.5, 1.5. I have a awesome wife named Rachel. She is the backbone of this whole theory of barbecue and business and everything I'm trying to do. She keeps us afloat while I try to make fun of it and try to obviously make a living with it as well. And then also my barbecue business started in May 2018 as I still am a pop-up caterer. I knew that I could cook some good Q and knew there was food trucks out there and there's pop-up restaurants. That's not necessarily a lot of barbecue places doing it, but it was more geared towards, chefs and restaurants popping up a little table inside of a joint and, serving up awesome, little dishes and private dishes and during private sessions per se. That's where the pop-up came from. Is that correct, Patrick? Right? That's where pop-up restaurant came from.
So it was just like a one-time event, basically, in
it was always
a space that was ready, but
it was never really barbecue. That kind of came just recently. Really,
it could have been anything. Yeah, but yeah, barbecue's pretty recent.
Okay. So yeah, I started that in May of last year. Just slowly built my brand. Didn't start with capital, with a bunch of money in the bank. Just built it with with what I had. And the knowledge that I could bring, and I taught myself along the way just to make things better for myself and for the food that's being eaten. And that led me to, when did I think I started this show when I first met you, right? So, I mean, that was only a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was about 8 weeks ago.
So I guess I started Barbecue for Heroes in September, a charity for barbecue and giving back, and then started the Texas Barbecue Show here just this year, and knowing how fun it was to be on Patrick's show and what I could do in return to others that don't know much about barbecue or want to learn more. And I think I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to share all that knowledge. So let's see. So yeah, the podcast, Texas Barbecue Show. I'm going to talk about everything barbecue, from products, equipment, the products that I choose to use, where you can get them, which most of them you get from at Ace Hardware, or some are called Westlake Ace Hardware. But everything that I teach, tell about, suggest, you can get them on the retail side. You don't have to be a wholesale person to get them, like some of the stuff I utilize. So it should be very informative and something y'all can go, after the show and go grab and test it out and see what your family thinks about it. Let's see, what else? Oh no, Patrick, dead air.
No, you know what? So I want to say you had a very thoughtful description of the show when you said it's like an audible cookbook of sorts. A lot of times I think, I started the show. I just wanted to share my passion for food. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. It's starting to evolve, and there are days I do great show prep, and some days I don't. But it was very descriptive. And the good thing about that is you'll never not know what to talk about. Just go back and refer to what you said.
Right.
And the great thing is, if you don't remember what you said, we have it recorded. So,
For sure.
But that's it. You know, you look at that message, and then you just keep in tune with that. And I think it's going to be an awesome show. It's already, I mean, I love having you on the show as hosting with me. So it's a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun.
We're kind of like man children, you know, a little goofy, but it's fun.
And we get to share internationally all of our knowledge and all of our thoughts. And it might not be knowledge to some. It might just be a refresher course. We're just here to provide something.
Well, you know, and so I love telling stories about just food from my childhood, right? Like a cut gallon of ice cream. Yeah. It's funny because nobody on Facebook has said whether or not they've ever heard of it, but I'm sure they have. But I didn't remember that until it's National Vanilla Ice Cream Day, and yep, that came up. And you know what creme anglaise is, right? Creme anglaise. It's like a dessert sauce. It's like cream, a vanilla custard sauce, basically.
Okay.
It's basically it's melted ice cream. If you ever want a really cool dessert sauce, just melt some ice cream. It's perfect.
Okay.
It's a custard.
Or sit it outside, you know, in Texas.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You don't have to melt it. Just leave it on the counter for an hour. But
okay.
So you got any events coming up this weekend?
So no events this week. I am actually in a downtime where I can do the show. I can do a little bit of marketing. Nice. I'm doing a small little catering for Summit High School football coaches.
Awesome.
Just to give back to them. It's something I talked to them about probably 4 months ago. So I got to live up to it, and they reminded me. So that's Thursday.
before football practice gets in full swing. Yeah.
Yep, they just started back this month, the coaches. So be doing that. That's it for this week. Of course, I'll share next Tuesday what I got going on the 3rd. RAR Brewery. That's all I'll say.
RAR
Be
Brewery.
watching out on Facebook.
That's cool.
Okay, so the partners I kind of got for the show, you know, the air conditioner not being on, it kind of gives me no background noise.
You want it on? I'll turn on. I'll turn on.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but so I don't have paid sponsors, and I don't know how all these sponsor deals work. I got companies that are behind me that are supporting my show by, I guess, not necessarily giving me free stuff, maybe giving me stuff at discount, or me utilizing their product and me just sharing. If I like it, I'm going to share it. It don't matter if they're paying me to do it or not.
I do the same thing.
It is what it is. We have to move on with life. I'm not going to just sit here and say, no, don't use B&B charcoal. They're not paying me. But B&B charcoal, that's one of the, that's my biggest, actually, I'm a pro team member of B&B charcoal. So, and anything fuel related for smoking, cooking, grilling, it's going to be B&B. And there's no reason not to be. I know there's Fogo charcoal out there, Cowboy charcoal. There's Kingford. That shouldn't even be worded out of my mouth. But you know, there's several different ones, but B&B charcoals is the one that I go to, and I've always have, even before I started my business. So I use it personally before.
I was surprised how many different varieties of charcoal they have, like how many different varieties of wood they have, and it's fantastic. And so it's funny that you use charcoal. When so I showed you that picture, that big pit that we used to use in Houston, that 50-footer or whatever, 40-foot, I guess, the pit. We always use just oak, no charcoal.
I use the charcoal just as a fire starter because I'm not going to use propane. I'm not going to use lighter fluid.
No, well, at some point you don't want more smoke. You just want heat as well. I mean, that's when you go back to going. Yeah. So, but I mean, I say they, which I thought was interesting because that they would go ahead.
There it is.
All right, there you go.
Make sure which one.
Now you can see what you look at. Hey, you know what that's called right there? That's called a vanity monitor.
Oh, yes.
It's called a vanity monitor, so you can see what you look like. Exactly. Check your teeth. Make sure there's no green stuff in there after eating a salad, or any pulled pork after having a barbecue sandwich.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right, so what are other than B&B? Who else?
So I got my other products that I stand behind and that are standing behind me for the show per se is going to be duck fat spray. That is Cornhuskers Kitchen. They're out in Nebraska. I mean, that's the best binder to use for anything. I mean, if you're using a binder, whether you're using water, olive oil, or spraying some kind of cooking spray to bind some seasoning, duck fat spray is the way to go. And I don't know why scientifically. It outcome, and the product that comes out after it is superb.
Because it tastes good.
Oh yeah.
So that's not duck butter, right?
No,
Duck fat,
no,
okay.
just duck fat. Duck fat.
Yes, sir. Duck fat's my favorite.
So, and then I also have RecTech Grills is standing behind me for the show. They've helped me obtain another grill, which I got a Trailblazer RT 340. I just received that over the weekend, and they got a banner that's coming to me today that I will display somewhere here in the room, and that is my go-to for pellet grills. So if anyone's in the market for a pellet grill, definitely look up rectechgrills.com. If you want a big smoker on a trailer, EastTexasSmokerCompany.com, and they're out of Tyler. That is Clint Shockey. And like I said before, I'm not getting paid to say these things. These are the things that I trust, and if you trust me in my cooking, you should trust the products that I use. So I mean that's just how it should go. What else?
I mean, I talk about a lot of stuff that they don't get any money for. I mean, my Kangshing knives, man. Well, I have to say I got knives, so that's free money right there.
True.
But yeah, there's all sorts of wonderful stuff out there. Yeah, feel free. Look, you don't have to. You don't have to justify. Just throw it out there, spread the love, and endorse the brand if you like it.
You got to justify everything in this time and age.
Nah, we own the channel. It's okay. No,
trying to build his audience. Honesty.
No FCC coming down on this channel yet. Yet.
What else do I have going? Well, anyway, so anybody that's listening, watching the show, if you got questions and answers, or I got the answers, you got the questions, post them down in the comments. Towards the last 15 minutes of the segment, I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm going to go back and answer your questions. That's what I want my show to be all about. Probably next week, I'll see if there will be an open phone line where y'all can call in during the whole 30 minutes and ask me something about smoking. What wood pairs with this meat? What should I do with just blah, blah, blah. Anything that you can think of, I will try my best to answer it. And that's what I want this show to be about, and be interactive. Keep you on your toes, keep you from clicking out of this live Facebook view and, go to someone else's page. I want you on mine.
Yeah, or Spoonies, or wherever you can find them.
Spoony Radio is going to be broadcasting the Texas Barbecue Show. So look up Spoony Radio, like them.
It doesn't matter if they watch on your page or our page or my page. It all counts as a watch.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Oh, yeah. So, topic of the day. I'm going to have a topic of the day each segment that I do. And the one I chose today before I came here is my favorite protein to put on the smoker, and that is ribs. Now, St. Louis cut or baby backs? Well, that all depends on how you're using it. So for me, if I'm doing it for caterings or for a pop-up, what I've learned over the past couple of times using baby backs, I will use St. Louis cut because it's much easier to cut and slice each bone off, presently speaking.
From a presentation standpoint?
Because that extra bone on the baby backs, you got to curve it a certain way.
It's a pain in the butt. So I got a question about that.
Yep.
So what's the difference between the baby back, and because I like St. Louis as well, and I know, but what's the difference between a baby back rib and a St. Louis cut?
So on the spare rib, St. Louis cut is from the spare rib. Now baby back has, I probably should have.
No, I mean, so size is one
bone. Yeah, they're more meatier. And that's a darn good.
So the meat to bone ratio is more on the baby backs, right?
Yes.
But they're hard to cut. They're hard to trim.
You got to get that nice little. Once you go down one, then you got to curve to the other because there's two bones up there at the top. But St. Louis is just straight boom, slice. It looks better. Looks like you know what you're doing versus baby backs. It looks like I'm struggling sometimes.
I wonder if that's where they cut that off near the spine, where it curves to come into the spine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It must be, because that's why it's called a baby back rib.
Yeah,
and I'm not being a smart aleck. I was just thinking, okay, where does it come from on the pig? Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't even think about that before I started talking.
No, I did not.
But
that must be where the rib kind of curves to grow into it grows into. I think I'll have to look it up now. I need to take a butchery class
next season, next session, next segment. So we need music playing in the background for when I can't talk. Okay, what else you want to do? Want to do the winner of the giveaway?
Well, Oh, wait. So talk about this. So you on your Facebook page last week.
Oh, there's another partner.
Oh,
when we reverse.
Okay.
So save that thought.
So rewind.
So we got fuel, B&B charcoal. We got a binder, duck fat spray. We got equipment. What are we missing? Seasoning, the flavor. I mean, the flavor comes from the wood, yes, but then the other half of the flavor comes from the seasoning, and that's Suckle Busters. And that's what I've used. And there's business guys out there that own restaurants that I talk to, and they know I don't make my own seasonings. I stand behind Suckle Busters and the seasonings they use, and that is what I utilize every single day on anything and everything. Depends on what I'm cooking. And so Suckle Busters is sold at Atwood's and at Ace Hardware, and they are standing behind me on my show. They sent me obviously the t-shirts, a tumbler, some hats, some patches, stickers. I'll use one of their tumblers here on the next show. But if you want to step up your game grilling, if you want to wow your neighbors, you want to be the king of the cul-de-sac, you need to get some Suckle Busters. Whether you need to order it online or go to Ace Hardware, if there's not one near you, get it. And if you want to know which particular ones, send me a message, because we could go through the whole lineup and that would take up the rest of my 35 minutes. And I don't want to do that.
I think
not today.
You should wait till the end to give the shirt away. That way people have to listen.
Oh,
must be present and listening to win.
Okay.
So hey, you know what's really interesting? I have a friend, Bill Murph, who owns an Ace Hardware down in Cypress, Texas, down in Northwest Houston. I'm always shocked. You think Ace Hardware, but Ace Hardware's now, because most of them are all independently owned. They're not corporate shops. They have the best variety of local, regional, artists and rubs, and it's amazing.
They do. They now the one here is about to carry Ken Patrick seasonings. Cosmo.
Wow.
Cosmo Q.
No, but I mean, it's the variety is crazy.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, yes. and then each location is a little bit different than the others because they get to choose their specific mix. But
out of any barbecue, so you got Premier Grilling up in Plano. You got a lot of barbecue geared places like Barbecue Galores, and Barbecue Galores really does not. They have an 8th, I think, of the selection that Ace Hardware does. So Ace is definitely stepping up their barbecue game with selection of rubs and sauces and also equipment.
So do you have? I know you use a different smoker for different purposes. If it's a big event or a small event, what's your favorite everyday smoker? What do you use every day for you? If you're just gonna
my RecTech pellet smoker.
Okay.
Oh yeah, all day.
And how big is that?
Ain't no shame in my game.
How big is that?
That one is 342 square inches.
Okay.
So it's you could do one now with the extra shelf. I think you're at 411 or 420, something like that, square inches. So you could do one brisket on the bottom and 2 racks of ribs on top with the second shelf.
That's more than enough to feed a family.
And it's a 20-pound hopper. So basically 20 pounds is 20 hours of cooking. And that sucker lights up and gets to your temp set point, whether it's 225, 250, 300 within 8 minutes or less.
It's a lot easier than a Cajun microwave where you got to keep feeding the charcoal briquettes and what I mean? Yeah, pellet smokers. That's the new thing. I mean, it's right there with the offset smoker with your normal wood smoker. You just got compressed pellets, and you got a couple extra hands being that auger and the fan to make it a convection oven. It's just we're in 2019. There's no need to just have to sit there every second. From
change. People, be a chef. Get creative with things, and you can do that easier with a pellet grill versus a big offset smoker. That's how I've kind of my very first smoker ever was a RecTech grill that I won in 2017, and that's what got my passion for barbecue and where I could learn all kinds of tricks and ways of doing things wrong and doing things right. And then I stepped up to the big smoker, and it took me 2 hours to learn how to set the intake vent, the outtake vent. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, but learning this on smaller cuts and smaller portions is what got me to where I'm at today with turning out some awesome barbecue.
So I'm going to have a question for you on the other side of the break. As far as you talk about like old school people that don't want to change, is there anything though that you're just like, no, I like the old way of doing it, just because I got a whole bunch of things that I do in the kitchen where I don't want to change it?
Well, I guess I could say I'm kind of living in the new age anyways. So
Yeah, you're not an old guy. You're not an old guy, so I guess
disrespectfully, I don't have a lot of old like live fire cooking experience to where that's an old technique, and I don't
makes sense.
I grew up in the kitchen, using an oven and microwave. I ain't doing that no more. But I mean, I'll use the off smoker as many times as I can. It just takes forever to light it up. I'll be back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And we're back. Texas Barbecue Show. This is Brandon Anderson. If you're just tuning in, how was that? That was so funny.
Pretty good. That was pretty good. Better than my first day. I'm just saying.
Well, let's see. What do I have? I mean, I feel like I've already talked about everything that I wrote notes on. So how many people we got watching on Spoony page? I got 7 on mine. Watch party.
Let's see. I'll go back to Safari here. I got 7 or 8. Let me start an actual watch party. But it's okay, because you're going to get a bunch more in there.
I think Richard's listening. Richard, you asking about how I would prepare a tri-tip? Oh, I'm going to wait for you to say yes before I start talking. So I utilize, so okay, yeah, let's just run with it. And I was just talking to somebody today about tri-tip, Mr. Beasley, about it. So, yep, there you go, Richard. Thanks. So tri-tip, I smoke it, and then I would sear it for just probably just a minute. There's a whole. I like to write everything down and really give everyone a full deal because I don't do tri-tip too much, but I have my notes written down. Tri-tip, I use it for my chili. Any chili cook-offs that I do, I use tri-tip, and I usually win first place or 1 through 3rd. Instead of using ground beef or chuck. What is it? Is it chuck roast or chuck? What all do people use for chili?
Yeah, you use ground chuck. You can use ground chuck is pretty much your typical hamburger meat. So 80-20. You can use you mean like the kind of chunky stuff? Or are you talking ground?
like some kind of roast or a chuck roast or?
Well, if you're going to use something that's that you're going to cut into more bite-sized pieces, then something like well, you don't necessarily want to use tenderloin, but something that's a leaner cut like that. You could actually use. I'm trying to think of a lean type stew meat that's not
stew meat. Oh, there's the word. You can just buy stew meat. That's
I mean, chuck is good. Just diced up chuck.
Meat. Yeah.
Slow simmer that. Oh man, that's good stuff.
Okay, so cool. I got people interacting. So Chris Campbell asked. So Richard, yeah. So I real quick. I smoked the tri-tip, and then I dice it up and put it in my potted chili, and then it'll cook over. That's really the big sum of it. Next week I will let's make the main topic tri-tip. How about that? I'll do that next week because I like got plenty of different. I only got 1 hour for now each week to talk about something. I'm going to talk about choices of wood, what it pairs with, choices of seasonings, what they pair with, sauces, what they pair with. I got something lined up every single post. It's just this first one today is an intro, kind of just get to know me and kind of just ramble on and get me used to sitting in this chair by myself without Patrick in front of me, because he helps.
Well, it's that's why we're here, though. That's what we're here for.
As long as you stay over there or someone does. Where's Jeff at?
Jeff's tees off this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know he's fun to have over here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's not so serious about food all the time.
Right. So let's see. So Chris asked, making the leap from hobby passion to business, what's been the biggest surprise or thing you didn't expect? Cooking too much food and having too much food left over. Waste. My first 4 or 5 months, I would assume so many people would be there and so many people would eat, and no one knew me. So I'm popping up in spots where they're like Rack Attack Barbecue, and it's not, so-and-so taco truck. No one can trust me. No one can trust the food that I have. No one can trust the prices that I set, because I don't do, I do high quality on every meat, whether it's upper 2/3 choice on the brisket or prime. Everything is high quality, so my prices reflect that. And, at the same time, you also got to make a living with it, but it's not outrageous price. This isn't a, Wolfgang Puck barbecue. This is just Rack Attack Barbecue, and it's damn good. And the prices reflect that, and I won't change from it or steer from it. So in the beginning, it was getting my name out there and taking the risk. Yes, it was hard. It was heartbreaking. There was times where I wanted to quit and put my, I worked so hard to try to do something that I emotionally was set after. I'm getting all
you're good
in my feelings. So yeah, it was hard. It's something. It's not easy. I started this with nothing. After having my 2 kids, my son now is 1.5. He was 3-4 months old when I knew I want to be a stay-at-home dad. And this goes back to the intro of me. I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to work for myself. I want to be the boss. I want to have my own schedule. I want to take them to the doctor's appointments when I want to. I want to do what I want. That's me. But I also knew I needed to make a living doing it and provide. So yeah, starting the business, Chris, it was rough, but I learned by November of last year to step back, not cook so much, make it something that people want. So the whole sellout deal, it's kind of, it works out. You get people interested, you make them not just believe, oh, it's good, but make them see that other people are getting in line and taking everything from you. So they have to get there early the next morning, and it makes it something that's eager for folks to want to buy or eat. And so, yeah, so over time I learned, don't cook so much. You never know how many it's going to be. Just cook underneath what you think it is. And if you run out, you run out. You'll know as you gain more popularity, gain more followers, gain more trust with the folks eating, because it's food. You can't, it's not McDonald's cheap food. I mean, I could waste a lot of that food. This barbecue isn't a waste. You got to crank up that smoker. You got to use all that fuel. The minimum is 6-7 hours, most likely on poultry versus beef, where you're cooking long time. That's time, that's fuel, that's money.
And time. It's time. And
time.
time.
Yeah. So it was definitely not what I expected from the get-go, but as you obviously do anything in life, you learn, you adapt, you overcome. And I did that, and I learned to better market myself, and take things to once a weekend, do caterings in between. Caterings are for sure thing. Caterings, you give them a menu, they prepay for so many people, you cook just that amount for those people, you go drop it off or you serve it, and boom, you're done. You're not at a loss. You're not having to worry about, how do I preserve this chicken or this pulled pork? Do I need to vacuum seal it all? How long can it last in the freezer? Do I really want to sell it 4 days later? This is a business, not just for home use. So I learned all that stuff my first half of my career in this business. So all of 2018, I learned that. And now this year I'm selling out of food when I go to places, and I have a 250-gallon smoker, so I can only do so much with it, and I'm still able to, at my recent events, sell out of everything. And that's, $1,500 to $2,000 worth of, income. And, you think about in a 3-hour span, you're knocking out and you're selling $2,000 worth of stuff. That's pretty good, because there's some restaurants out there that are smaller that might not do that all in a whole day, but I'm doing it in 2-3 hours. So I'm doing something right, and I'm learning. And if I had bigger smokers, I could do double. It's all a learning curve. You got to save up the money. I'm doing it very, very slowly, because obviously I started with nothing. Like I said, I don't have all this capital to just boom, buy the 1,000-gallon smokers, double 1,000-gallon smokers, and cook for 500, 600 people on caterings. And also the catering ads or my exposure is not there, because I just don't. Maybe I'm not putting myself there, or maybe God knows I'm not ready to do it and fail. I don't want to fail. I never want to fail. So things are going smoothly, and they're building. And that was a great question, Chris. Let's see what else. That was a good one. See, that one took up some time.
It was good. That was a really good question.
So Richard Brandt, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, John Stinson said, when I have extras, I vacuum seal it up, save it for a rainy day, take it to the fire departments, or incorporate into other dishes for easy, quick weekday meals. So yeah, when I've had, past 3-4 months, I've been able to sell out, just because I'm getting a little bit more exposure out there, and Facebook is, I'm gaining more followers, and people know my food, and they're starting to, line up. But before then, so in between November and February is when I started my Barbecue for Heroes, and I started it knowing that I had extras and I wanted to give back. So that is where I would take extras. So the exact example would be the Pickle Parade in Mansfield. That was, I think that was actually January, March or February of this year. I had some left over, and my very first Barbecue for Heroes contribution, per se, was to the Mansfield Fire Department, which was literally 50 yards away, because I was downtown Mansfield. So that's where that kind of started, of utilizing what do I have that I can turn around and give back. Or there's times where I've had a fundraiser on Facebook and was able to gain money, and then boom, now I can really do my once a month or twice a month and give back to the community, give back to our local heroes. Things like that. So yeah, that is very good, John, for helping me bring that up. What else? I'm really out of stuff for today.
Well, so people don't realize that, volunteer work takes just as much time as, when you're selling food.
Yeah, there's no difference between my Barbecue for Heroes and Rack Attack Barbecue.
Exactly.
It's the same. Everything applies except for I don't get paid for it, but I feel good.
Absolutely. It's nice to give back, especially for, first responders like that. It's
first responders, or, normal guy that did CPR at a fitness center. And things like that. There's always room to show appreciation to people.
Absolutely.
So to that, I'll drink.
Oh, hey, cheers. Yeah. I'm going to have some ice cold ice bar here. Cheers to that.
My mom's probably watching Brandon.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it's just Diet Coke. Come on.
Yeah, in a patriotic cup.
Well, that's good. It should be,
Oh, yeah. What else?
So no events this weekend. So what are you going to do then?
Well, I try to convince the wife to go to Arkansas Hot Springs, but she has to work. She's got to keep us afloat while I'm building this dream. I don't know. We might take. I don't know what we're gonna do with the kids. Got to take them somewhere. I'll probably cook, of course.
Where would you go in Arkansas?
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs, okay.
Yeah, I just want to. My mom took me to Hot Springs when I was younger, and I was like, instead of going to San Antonio to the Riverwalk, that is always what we usually do if we go out of town. I was like, let's go out of state. 5.5 hours. It's not that long, but it's out of state. Go to Hot Springs.
You go there. Bentonville's not that much further. Another half an hour.
Go visit Walmart.
Well, Bentonville's just beautiful, man. You're right there, and you're right on the Missouri border. So you could, there's all sorts of campgrounds and.
Go see Joe Wilson out there.
I'm telling you.
Isn't he close?
He's right there. He's in Bella Vista. Bentonville's they're sister cities. He's 5 miles up the road. Yeah.
My mom has a question.
Okay.
Your mom has a question. How do I grill chicken breasts without them always being dry? Of course, this is just on a gas grill. Well, your problem is gas grill. Just keep the temp low. If you're using a gas grill, just use it. So there's so many different gas grills that ones are infrared, some are direct heat where you got the flame shooting up. If I'm going to be really serious, as if I'm not talking to my mom and talking to a customer, I would say get some grill grates, sit them on top of your normal grates on your gas grill, let them heat up, and you can use that to use your grill because they'll, deter, I guess you would say, maybe there's another word, from those flare-ups. And you just watch your time and your temp, have a thermometer, and you won't go past your internal temperature time and won't dry out. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you want to get that nice sear mark on there, you can still sear them and get that char on there. But then you can put them on the upper level
just
there.
That IT.
Yeah, and if you lower one side as well, so one side's hot, one side's cooler, and then put it on the upper level, just let it bake. Basically you're just getting the char and then baking it the rest of the way.
Or Mom, you can get a cast iron skillet and yeah, there's different techniques, but just watch the temperature. Watch the heat. That's all. That's really all it is. Low and slow. Even on chicken, as long as you're away from a heat source, like on the smokers, we do chickens in less than 2 hours, even at 350, and that's not necessarily a smoking temperature. And you're also not drying it out, but you're not direct heat. It's been so long since I used a propane grill. It really is different.
Well, I think one of the things, again, people don't once you get a grill hot, people tend not to adjust the heat. You just cook it on the same temperature. So once you get that sear on there, the color, then you just reduce the heat or shift it to the other side. Makes it easy.
For sure.
And I always have a squirt bottle with water in it too.
Put out the fire.
For those flare-ups. Oh, absolutely. Even in a restaurant, dude.
Okay.
Even in a restaurant.
Okay, that makes sense. So another question, Chris Campbell, good self-promotion question. There are a million barbecue places and caterers these days. Tell us what sets you apart, unique dishes, and why it's better than the generic stuff out there. Dang, Chris Campbell. I'm not sure if you're going to get any more samples from me after this question. Depends on how I answer.
Making you up your game today. Look at that.
Yep. So what sets me apart is customer service. Customer service is everything in the restaurant business. I'm personable with my customers, whether I'm seeing you up front at a pop-up or a caterer over the phone. I'm going to tell you it's straightforward, how it is, what I do, what the others do, without bashing the others. And my techniques, if we're going to, who are we comparing to? I don't know. I have a way of doing my barbecue that is a little bit unorthodox compared to traditional, and that's what stands me apart. I'm a heavy trimmer, less fat, more smoke, but I still got intramuscular fat, which doesn't dry out the meat. Maybe that's one of the deals. My brining process for poultry, anything that flies, I brine, keeps the juices in. I use seasoning and half salt versus all salt and just the water. There's so many variables that I utilize that makes me unique, that it all comes to trial and error and testing, which I've been blessed to be able to test all the time, being that like I've said, my wife works full time and she's, helps me continue this dream. And that's what helps me do the trial and error. Everything takes repetition And I mean, and testing, that's why there's test kitchens for big restaurants, because you got to test things before you put it out there. And so what sets me apart is my technique, my choices in the meats, the quality. It could be upper 2/3 choice, like I've said, on beef or prime, or it could just be the normal poultry. Anyone can get poultry's poultry. Now pork, you can get Berkshire pork. You got Hereford beef, then you got Compart Duroc. Now, to me, it's all the same, because everything else you put into it, whether it's the wood, the seasoning, the way you actually smoke it or cook it, that there's so many variables in cooking. And I've learned that just from myself, from having chefs that I met, whether it's Patrick, Chef Jen Williams, my Cisco rep Grant Ship, who used to be a chef at Mandalay Hilton, I think, in downtown Dallas, something like that. So I got a lot of mentors that are chefs. I don't have any pit masters that I talk to. All the things that I know and learn are from chefs that I translate into using wood, not in the kitchen. I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? Translate chef into pit master.
You're taking kitchen methods and converting those to be used in a smoker. That's absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, and again, pit masters in their own right are chefs, right, of a sort.
Right.
And I don't mean of a sort. That's not derogatory, by the way, because there's a true science to smoking meat. That's for sure.
So that's what sets me apart is my techniques. And I mean, the outcome. You try my food, you tell me if I'm, different from the rest. That's really all there is to it. I can talk and talk and talk on how I think I'm maybe better, or how I could put out a dish better. Just try my food. Hit me up for a catering, and you tell me if I'm better than the next guy. My unique dishes, I kind of piggyback off of what a lot of people already do, because a lot of people have been doing it longer than me. Things that I think I do very well is pork belly burn ends. So a lot of people use the same wood for every single piece of meat, unless they have multiple smokers and they utilize one smoker for one piece of wood, one smoker for another piece of wood. With my pellet grills and my smoker and my soon-to-be double smoker on a trailer, I'm going to utilize different cuts of meat with different flavors of wood to get different profiles on the plate or the tray that you buy from me. So my meatballs, that's a unique dish. Mostly everyone here at Spoony has had the barbecue smoked meatballs. My pork belly burn ends are a little bit different and flavorful to me and to some others. My pulled pork is definitely different than most. I am more of a Carolina Gold style pulled pork versus the traditional vinegar, I guess you would say, pulled pork that everyone does here in Texas with the red pepper flakes and vinegar tasting. It's good. I mean, all I can say is it's good. You just got to try it.
Good. That sandwich didn't last very long, I can tell you that.
Yeah. So just basically try it, read the reviews that's on my Facebook, and that tells the tale. Everyone can sit and talk about their own food and how good it is, but it's really the customers, the ones that pay the bills, and the ones that sharing with everyone else how good your stuff is and what unique dishes. Someone else could jump on here and tell me, hey, this is the unique dish that I had that I never had in any other barbecue place, or I never had this catered from someone that you did that it was special to me. So, okay, here's another one that just popped in my head, a pork belly slider. So I've done pork belly burn ends in between Hawaiian roll with a little side of red skin potato salad for what was it? Trepec of Texas is a Tarrant County Apartment Association, something like that. They had a deal where we went up against a lot of other restaurants, and I took first place out of that, and that was my first time ever. And I was up against the fixture Ben Merritt, who he just won Chopped, so go for him. He should have beat me that day, but hey, I won. It's okay. And some other actual restaurants where I'm just a little guy, and that's okay. The big, I'm the underdog, and that's always okay. What else did you ask me, Chris? Unique dishes. Why is it better than the generic stuff out there? Well, anything craft barbecue is better than the generic stuff out there. We all know what the generic stuff is. Spring Creek, Dickey's, Coulter's. Now, those have been around forever. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. It's just they're stuck in their ways. They don't want to change to a different maybe flavor of wood or a different technique of smoking, whether it's a rotisserie wood smoker or a offset smoker or even one of the larger pellet smokers that I know that are in some of the restaurants now that might not be Texas, but there's a couple restaurants that I know that have Yoder pellet smokers in their restaurant, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, Chris, thanks for putting me on the spot, man. I appreciate it. No, I really do. It makes me talk and, share honesty. That's what this show is about. That's what I'm all about. I've always been about it. I know barbecue guys that hate asking me what I thought because I'll tell them the damn truth. And it's only to help you, or maybe that's my opinion. Everyone has one, and I'm not going to sit over here and sugarcoat it or keep my mouth closed, because closed mouths don't get fed, and I like to eat. So let's see what else we got. So when you, oh man, there's too much silence there, Patrick. You got anything while I'm looking?
No, it's okay. Look, so, and that's, people are like, well, hey, why don't you respond to this stuff on Facebook? Because you know what? I can't talk, read that thing, keep up with the feed, answer all the questions. And so, that's why I just choose a few here and there. But when you do a brisket, you talked about different types of wood and wood pellets. What would you use for brisket?
Pecan.
Okay. And what's the reason for that? Just that
flavor, that sweet, that sweet flavor.
Kind of like the smell of the flesh of the pecan, right?
Oh man, when I get my offset smoker, more than anything, you can really smell the burning of the bark. Whereas obviously the pellet smoker is just compressed wood, and it's the inner part of the core of the wood. So you're not really getting that heavy white smoke. You're literally getting sometimes clear smoke with the pellet smokers. Even at 225, it's that thin blue smoke. That's what everyone wants, is that clean draw, that clean smoke, that clean flavor. And you can smell, when a pellet smoker is going, whether you never. If you're around, if it's back here in the back and I can't see it and I smell it, I know it's a pellet smoker. But of course, you can still get thin blue smoke with, at East Texas Smoker Company, reverse flow smoker like I have. And if you're doing everything right. But the smell of that pecan is so much better to me than post oak. But post oak is good to use to longer the cook time. So post oak burns hotter, burns longer, pecan burns quicker. But there's that flavor profile that I get, that it is a combination of the rubs I use with that beef, with that pecan, that just makes it, to me, one of a kind. I mean, when I get a spot, this is on live radio and recorded, I'm going to be in the top 50 of Texas Monthly. Hold that to me. Everyone's looking. Hold it to me. I can't be in competition right now because I don't have a spot. I don't have a place for the readers to go to. I don't have a trailer. I don't have a brick and mortar, but I know what I'm putting out is comparable to those that everyone likes. And I'm only saying that stuff because I want, when I get those top 5, or with me saying this right now, I want you to come and try my food. That's all I want. I want you to know that I'm doing something right. And your money helps me give back to other people.
Hey, they can come see you here every Tuesday at the Spoony Cafe.
Yeah. Well, we got
to figure that one out. Folks, we don't really have a cafe here, so if you show up, don't be expecting food. But if you're going to come bring your wallets, we will figure something out.
But that's a big comment to make. And I know what I got. I've been a lot of places, and it's not really a cocky comment. It's a confidence comment, and why not say it? Why not say that you can be the best, or you are the best, or amongst the best? And that just makes people more eager maybe to try my food. If y'all been to the top 5, come try mine. Share on Facebook how bad it is, how good it is, how it compares to those top 5. And, let's set the record. That's all.
Well, and feedback's always good, right?
Well, feedback's always good. I don't care if it's good or bad. You got to let me know how to better it, how to tweak it. I'm here for you, not myself. I rarely eat my own barbecue. You can ask my wife. I don't. Look, this is the sandwich still from an hour ago. Shoot, I'm already done with my hour segment. So.
Oh, come on. You can tell him I paid you to hold on to that for me.
No, I didn't, because I'd be lying. But yeah, I think I got something to show. 1 minute. Oh, man. So,
and I'll teach you something real quick.
So, Brandon Hurtado, sorry.
You want to start wrapping up about 15 seconds still.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
Brandon Hurtado, who am I missing? So, Brandon Hurtado, who owns Hurtado Barbecue in Arlington. What's your favorite craft barbecue place in DFW? In DFW, my favorite at this time would be Ferris Wheeler's Backyard Barbecue. And I'm not sure if he calls himself craft barbecue, but he does have items on his menu that are unique, that make him unusual versus Dickey's and Spring Creek. So he would be craft. That is my favorite top out of all of them. So, and then Brandon Hurtado said, pecan burns too fast, Maine. Well, sometimes you got to spend a little to get a little. So we got to finish this next week, next Tuesday.